Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder. Today, we are going to be discussing Kingdom 15, giving a little bit of an introduction into the kingdom. We will show you the landscape, how Zone 3, possibly some other zones are looking. We'll show you the leaderboards, and then also the feedback that I have received from when I reach out to officers and leaders from active alliances in the kingdom. Now, to preface, these ones I think are about a month old because I had reached out. Typically, I like to reach out early, but I had these in the bank just because there was so much action and PvP-ness going on during that time, and unfortunately just kind of got put to the wayside as I was trying to get some other content out. However, now finally being a little more on track-ish, we are able to continue with where we left off. So, let's get right into it. First thing is taking a look at Zone 3. There are, for intensive purposes, I believe 2 alliances here. We have MHXH. We have 4G. Ooh, hang on, let's see here. Is it 4G? Thought I saw that extended. 4G10. And I think that's pretty much it. We do have some alliances that are holding the passes as far as EXD. And then I believe that's them up here as well. But only 2 alliances that are in. And then I believe here, if I'll have to see, I think this is them. I don't know who else is. Yeah, doesn't look like anyone else is connecting to Dragons, so only 1 alliance has connected to them so far. Don't think there's any attempts that are going on. Yeah, no, nothing right now. So let's actually zoom back in. Let's move away from the dragon, and let's transition to looking at some leaderboards before we get to some of that player feedback for how some of the history has played out. So if we look at the boards, you can see number 1 ranked Albatross here from EXD. Pretty big gap. I mean, this is 34 mil plus between 1 and 2. But then you can see kind of where the average is, right? More so around that 2, 3, 4 range and beyond. So you got number 2 is, I think it's Mike, if I'm saying that right, 16.6 mil. And then number 3 is 15.6 mil. And then you end up getting into our 14.4 mil and lower. Now let's look at the bubble position player, right, which is your number 200 on the boards because that's as far down as we can go. And that's Zeldo Carnia here from MHXH at 5.85, almost 5.9 mil. If we look at personal merits, you can tell just by some of these numbers, actually has been a decent amount of fighting. Albatross is number 1 with 11 mil. Sindaku 6.37, almost 6.4 mil. Number 3 EXD. Zar 6.26, almost 6.3 mil. I mean, again, really good numbers. Let's look at the bubble position here. And to be honest, this isn't bad. I mean, you're pretty much at 300 mil for merit points. This shows to me that there's been quite a bit of fighting for a home kingdom, we should say, not to be confused with a merge kingdom. But this is still pretty respectable when it comes just to the amount of PvP that has occurred, whether it be lawless or lawful. Yeah, I think that's the opposite one there. We look at hall level. You got 5 C25s, all in EXD. Resources gathered. A couple of people over 1 billion. You got 9 people over 1 billion right now. Bubble position for top 200, number 200 player and above is going to be 372 million, almost 373 that's been gathered. Dragon Trail. Let's see how many 279s we have, which is the max. You can hit Season 1. We got 39 people have max Dragon Trail. And quite a few more are pretty much there. Let's look at bubble position for Dragon Trail. 240, right? That for 200 players that are higher than that or more. Alliance power, here we go. So you got MHHX, EXD, right, wow, pretty much top 2 there, over 1 billion power. You got 4G10 at 560, EMPF, I'm assuming farm, so what, 2.5, I would say, active alliances? If we get into merits, wow, this is pretty clear. There's definitely been a lot of back and forth between 1 and 2, at least from a face value standpoint, it looks like. EXD and MHXH, right? Again, I mean, just combined, they're at, gosh, what is it, almost 200 mil? What, 198? 199, if you're counting everything. So that's a lot. All right, now let's get to what I'm sure a lot of you will come by for, being the goods, is our feedback that we end up displaying for everyone to see here on the officers, or from the officers and leaders from alliances. So I got 5 pieces of feedback here, and I'm just going to read 1 or 2, right? Again, this is one of the things I always like doing about this, and I mentioned this in all the videos, is I like being able to have some historical reference and context to the way that the progression and the development of a kingdom has played out. Having some type of archive, some type of historical documentation for the past is great, because we can always refer to it if we ever need to in the future. And, if we ever need to look back on how things played out, use these as, even as good reference points for pros and cons on kingdom development, for how things played out, looking for consistencies. There's a lot of great opportunity there. And again, this is usually the part where most people probably pause the video and read through. Please feel free, again. And like I said, I'm just going to read 1 or 2 here. But I always like to leave these up so that way you guys can just kind of go through and read them on your own. And, again, be able to draw your own conclusions, have your own opinions and views on what you're reading, whether you played in the kingdom or not. So it says, one person said here, before when level 2 pass open, there is Top Alliance EXL. They're the union along with 4G10 and MGCT. And our rival is MHXX and family EMPH and EMPE. MHXH from Burning Lands expanded their territory to Zolan and Forgotten Lands, the home base of MGCT and 4G10. 4G10 asked DXD and EXL to help them fight MHXH and secure Pass 2, Lorcan, and Agoru from Zoland. And absolutely, our union won that war and chased MHXH down to Burning Lands. After that, EXL continued their fight with MHXH in Agoru, but suddenly EXL leader at the time, Kitsune, disbanded EXL for no reason and joined MHXH. After that, and 4G10 switched their side to MHXH and trapped us in Zolan, and MGCT2 joined MHXH side and waging war with DXD and Nivola near the Lorcan Pass. And of course, 4G10, after betrayed us and now allies with MHXH, they give MHXH access to Zolan and Forgotten Lands to them. And MHXH secured level 3 passes from Lorcan and Agoru, and now DXD fight them alone. There's another one here that said 4G10 had been a part of the union on DXD. After that, we chose our side to EMPX, which is now MHXX. HXH because of their intention to burn our alliance. Many alliances have been disbanded, like MGCT have been disbanded, also EMPH, because of losing their confidence to fight after we successfully defeated them and pushed them back in Burning Lands. When we are on the side of DXD later on in Zone 2, open the battle still on, and we have a friend in EXL, which is now GMM. They tell us what KS the real plan is, or what is the real plan? Where was that? Tell us what, I'm assuming that's an I. We'll just fix that. on 4G10, and that's why we chose to be a part of MHXH. So again, I mean, some interesting place. I mean, it clearly seems as though there was some potential betrayals, some disbandments that occurred too as well here in the kingdom. But now when you're looking at how things are, you have the two big alliances. However, it's interesting that EXD is not in Zone 3. I mean, it clearly seems that Albatross should be able to push through. If that's the intent. I don't know what the current intent is, but let's say if they are still fighting, Albatross should, again, already have T5. The other guys probably T3, maybe a little after T4, like late game T3, if not, right, kind of early stage T4. So being able to look at that, there should be no reason why Albatross with T5, again, because that's where the threshold is around, 54? No, sorry, 40, I think it's like 46 or 47 mil that you need to be at. Where's my thing here that tells me these interesting stats? I think I have it here on my miscellaneous board, which I believe is at the very end here. Yeah, so it's 45 to 47 mil, which is for first unlock, and then around 57.5 mil for all T5 unlock. So this is something that, based on Albatross's power, he should have, and I would imagine should be able to push through, especially there's other players that are in the top 50 as well from EXD, but you're only seeing MHXH and 4G10 that are in Zone 3. So, again, I'm sure someone will be kind enough to provide me with some context down below. That really, for the most part, is it. I mean, again, we'll have to wait and see. Excuse me. I know one of the things that's really interesting here is that, again, K15 is going to get their season summary, which will be in 4 days and less than 17 hours, and we'll see who they're going to get matched up with, right? Because we talked about that. Will it be 16? Will it be, what is it, like 16, 14 maybe? Will it be 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11? Right? Will it be 4 and 2, 3 and 3, 2, 2, 2? Right? That's something we don't know yet, because I don't think Kingdom 17 has had theirs pop where you've seen this thing, and that's obviously something to look forward to or look out for, because that's kind of where they have the new season summary. But again, I mean, you know, do they have some strong players here? Yeah, they at least have one strong player at the time. They seem to have some decent activity with 2 alliances over 1 billion power, seem to have a lot of fighting experience, at least for the part that factors, or at least for a portion of fighting experience that factors into that. It also should be noted, right, that the accuracy of the feedback that these individuals are giving me, right, I always take with a little bit of grain of salt. It doesn't mean that anyone's lying or misleading or has any ill intentions. It's just that because I didn't play here, I can't authenticate the information they're providing me as far as history goes. But I do like to believe that there are truths in it, whether it be part truths and or full truths. So, you know, again, take it for what you will. It's one of the reasons why I like to ask multiple active alliances and leaders and officers, so we have an opportunity to get multiple sides from other people or from a diverse group of people, so you're not just hearing it from one alliance or quote unquote the winning alliance or the alliance that won in their management team, right? You're able to kind of see what the trends are and the common denominators when you get responses from multiple people, and then you can essentially have a better margin of error, right, when it comes to what's accurate or more accurate-ish versus what's not. So again, if you're in the kingdom for 15, or if you're just, you know, you've been an avid watcher more than myself, right, let me know in the comments. What are you guys thinking? What has played out here so far? Where does the kingdom currently stand, right? Are things at peace, which it maybe kind of somewhat seems, at least in this brief, isolated moment of time? Are they still fighting? Right? Again, will they be unified going into the merged kingdom for their season 2? And anything else, right? Again, I always love reading and definitely responding to as many as I can when I have the opportunity to. That's going to do it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.